What's in there?
The Denver Sports Podcast, presented by Breckenridge Brewery. Avalanche.
Breckenridge what?
Avalanche Ale. I've got a coffee up there you go. Happy Friday to all. If you're missing a brown ale in your life, Avalanche Ale has you covered.
I think that's an amber ale, which sounds way better than a brown ale.
I'm going off script. I'm going brown ale.
Is that a thing?
It's like a
It
porter,
is.
right? Or like a vanilla
Oh,
porter. No.
yeah.
Like
An ale's an ale. Never mind.
Yeah.
It's like
ale's an
It's
ale.
like between an amber and a stout.
Sounds
Not
made
a
up
stout,
to me.
but like a darker beer.
Well, for the great ale debate, I have an esteemed, whatever. Henry's here. He's talking smack and I'm disagreeing as always. Spence is here to bring some reason. He'll be at the Super Bowl next week and also covering a golf tournament and having lots of fun. So he's the one guy I'm excited to be here. And then,
Oh, thank you.
Schwan Man here, he's the sunshine in my life. Like he's Schwan Man's a great man.
It's like
Thank
when
you.
Schwann's ice cream
great.
truck comes down
It
the
is.
road.
It is.
That was always a
Pure
great
joy.
day.
So
Pure
actually,
joy.
Henry aside, everyone is
Wow.
the vibes are amazing.
Okay,
here,
well,
so.
guess what? I'm going to spend the next 40 minutes ruining this podcast, so be ready.
Well, you were brought on because this is a Super Bowl episode, and you are kind of playing heel today.
I'm playing heel by picking the best quarterback alive to win.
Yeah, he's doing right. He's doing it. He's
Oh,
doing
this is
it.
gonna
So,
get-
It's just the
good
truth.
for you being a heel. We don't respect it, but we will insult you on air for entertainment.
Okay, I'll insult you back.
I love it. No, I got too off the rails. We are here to talk a little Super Bowl, and we planned that out before the Sean Payton news broke. So I figured parlay the two things into one. You know? You got it, Hank? You with me?
I mean, I think that the Sean Payton thing could have been worth changing the headline over.
Superseded, huh?
But yeah, just maybe.
Okay, that's a fair take. Super Bowl weekend coming up. Dominant Eagles. Second time in the last half decade with a completely different core. And the Chiefs, who Henry thinks are a shoo-in to win it all, are in it. And how are we feeling about this? How any takeaways from the Eagles entering this Sean Payton era of a quick rebuild and how to get back on the top?
I mean, just be better, I guess. Just be better. Honestly, I don't
Excellent.
think there's anything they can learn, which I hope doesn't ruin the podcast. But I mean, you've got the receivers. Maybe like you build the offensive line, defensive line out. Like that could be a thing.
Okay.
The problem though is that like
Trades are good. Is
the
that a
Broncos just
takeaway?
don't have talent. Is kind of their big
Oh,
issue.
wow.
Like they don't have holes. I don't really think they're just like you look through all the teams that made it to like the Super Bowl or the championship games, and they all just have like 2, 3, 4 players that are better than the Broncos' best player. So that's the big thing you take away is that the Broncos just don't have the talent. You could take it a quarterback route. Maybe like use the offensive line, defensive line too, trenches out.
I think that might be one of the biggest lessons is the trenches out.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Eagles a few years ago didn't have a ton of talent. Like the flux has been real.
Yeah. I mean, but they had like in the rebuild. Yeah. I mean,
from one
I guess
Super Bowl to the last,
they can
a lot's changed.
They could take away that it's possible to improve.
Do you know how they got back to the Super Bowl so fast?
Lay it on us, Jake.
They have
please.
a quarterback on a rookie contract.
Yeah.
Which is so dumb. Like that shouldn't be a
Yeah.
thing. Like the fact that that's just how the NFL works now is like, yes, you just get a quarterback on a rookie contract. Like that's not how team building should work. It should be about building a big team. And there's no way they're going to go back to giving big contract rookie quarterbacks. But the league would be so much more interesting if you were actually just building good teams and not worried about like, ooh, can we just save $40 million right here and reinvest it?
What's the solution?
There isn't. Well, I mean, the solution is you start giving out the rookie contracts the way they were in like 2010 or whatever before they changed it. But there's no way that the Players Association is going to agree to that because the players aren't saying like, yeah, give 10% of our money to the rookies who don't get to vote because they're not players in the Players Association yet.
Yeah, I mean it's a huge advantage to have that rookie contract.
It
That
is.
Eagles team is stacked, and a lot of trades have come from that. They've really, as much as you talked about the trenches, that skill position group's outstanding. But yeah, the trenches is really like the identity of that team. How good they are on the O line, and I mean it's the third most sacks in NFL history.
I believe it.
So pretty insane. And last playoff game, they broke the record for rushing touchdowns as well. So, I mean, they're getting the basics down. And to me, Sean Payton is a guy who can develop that offense. Like, there's plenty of window dressing with guys like Alvin Kamara and what have you, but the trenches are the bread and butter for a true Parcells disciple like Sean Payton. What are your feelings going into this Super Bowl, Spence, especially since you'll be out in Arizona and having some fun?
Well, I'm obviously a degenerate gambler.
Yes.
I have to bet on this game. I'll probably have 50 different bets on the game.
Of
But
course.
when looking at the actual, breakdown of the two teams, you've got one team that is literally better at every single position other than quarterback than the other team. And it's like, all right, then you go, okay, so how much weight does a quarterback hold? Obviously, if it's Patrick Mahomes, it's clearly a lot because as we just went through this whole rookie contract deal, 3 of the 4 teams in the championship games were our quarterbacks on rookie contracts. The one outlier that constantly defies these odds now 5 years in a row is Mahomes.
Yeah.
Now, granted, he was on a rookie contract, is not anymore, but the idea that I love Allie, but I'm sitting here I don't understand how I don't have confidence in the Eagles right now.
It's hard to.
I mean, I think Jalen Hurts has thrown for 270 yards total in 2 games in the playoffs. Now, he hasn't really had to. But when I look at their roster, I'm like, dude, they're better everywhere. But they don't have Patrick Mahomes. And they don't have Travis Kelce. And so that part kind of scares me. And not to mention, you play who you play. But they had about the easiest road to a Super Bowl I've ever seen.
Yep.
And the Niners...
Just looking at the quarterbacks.
Exactly.
It's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, 2 guys that had 1 combined playoff win between them before they played the Eagles, 0 going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I don't take anything away from the Eagles. I mean, they were the best team all year round. You go from the jump to the playoffs. They're dominant. They have great leadership, and I think that's one of the biggest keys. Kind of piggybacking on Henry's point to how do the Broncos get back to the Super Bowl? The thing I'm a little concerned about is not leadership from a higher level like a coach like Sean Payton. That's there. And we don't have to worry about if he can manage a clock. There's just very few things that we'll be very excited about from a base level. But look at who the Eagles have, guys like Fletcher Cox and guys like their whole secondaries. And they're a bunch of dudes that have been there before.
Yeah.
And that's where the leadership comes from is Russ came to the Broncos needing to be the leader. Russ played on teams his whole entire career where he had, KJ Wright, he had Earl Thomas, he had Richard Sherman. Russ has never been the guy that's whoa, I have to lead this team. Not from a player's standpoint, but from a locker room standpoint. Do the Broncos have those guys? Not really.
No.
And back in the day when they went to the Super Bowl in 2015, they did. They had the DeMarcus Wares. They had, Malik Jacksons and Derek Wolfs. We're talking about the trenches. Guys like that were leaders on
Payton,
both sides of the
course,
ball. And then Payton, yeah, of course, leading from the quarterback position. So I think I'm really struggling. I want the Eagles to win this game more than anything, of course.
Yeah.
My brother definitely does. He's got a pretty sizable future.
Oh, yeah.
On the Eagles.
Got in early, huh?
Mid-season.
Nice.
Yeah. So he's got a lot of skin in this game, but I just don't. I don't know. I think if the Eagles play the way they've played the last 2 games and just continue to run the ball, they should be able to run the ball pretty well against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Their offensive line's great. Their D-line's great. Their corners are great. They haven't been tested a ton on the back end, which I'm curious to see what Mahomes does with that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I really can't pick this game yet, and I'm just gonna have to basically flip a coin.
Yeah.
Yeah, the leadership of guys like Kelce and Fletcher Cox, the few guys who have stayed over from the last Super Bowl to this one is evident, And on the other side, obviously we're all kind of invested in the Chiefs losing, unless we maybe have some bets that we're trying to cash.
That's me. I still want them to lose, to be clear.
If they did lose, what
is clear.
What could that mean to Andy Reid and Mahomes? Because you're starting to get here where it's it's been in the Final Four a lot, but
1990 Buffalo Bills.
Yeah,
kind of scenario.
Except they already
Chokers.
won one. Like I don't know. They've been very successful. Like they've 5 now home AFC Championship games in 5 years. Third Super Bowl appearance. They've won one. Like this is not close to. If they flop the next 2 years, then that's when you start saying like, oh, maybe they can't quite get it done.
I mean, we've seen plenty of like Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre's. Like you get it done early in the career, and then it's just kind of like, oh, you're never gonna get that.
But we haven't gotten to the point where it's like, can he get another?
Sure. I mean, just the fact that they have to lose in a weekend for this to even start being a conversation.
Yeah.
1 in 5 chances is not a good percentage.
1 in 5 winning Super Bowls is a very good percentage.
Not if you had 5, you made it to 5 AFC Championship games and only turned it into 1.
So you feel, but he's not on the show. We shouldn't talk.
And
but
you're closing the win. I mean, the other thing is like the success they've had prior was under a Mahomes rookie contract.
True.
Now things like the game starts to get a little harder.
There's that piece. I just hate that so much. Like the fact that there's just like this 4-year window at the start, and that's what the league is built around, just frustrates me.
If the Chiefs lose this game, I will be tweeting the Broncos and Chiefs have won the exact same amount of Super Bowls in the last 10 years. That will be coming from my Twitter account.
That's a fact.
I can't wait.
And that's just one of those things where they're still, if they lose this game, they're still behind the Broncos in Super Bowl appearances, or Super Bowl wins, excuse me. And I don't know. I think that unless you get there and win it, they're never going to be. I mean, they'd have to win maybe 2 to 3. I think we did TDSP on a dynasty a while ago. Yeah. What a dynasty is, and that they don't even cross my mind right now, even though they've been to 5 straight AFC Championship games. But if they win 2 in the next 3 to 4 years, they're like
they're in the combo.
It's like Brady wins one and then he gets there again and then loses and then he gets there again and wins. So this is like I think this is kind of like a breaking point for them in terms of.
I agree.
They already
like
lost their most talented.
Crossroad,
yeah, exactly. And they keep finding the other thing that when teams get good, Isaiah Pacheco in the 7th round. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Guys like that that just they find those guys that work. And then they just continue to build momentum. It's crazy. It's honestly like you almost can just see like a guy feeding off of how great Mahomes and Kelsey are, and just that aura they have in the locker room, and like we're gonna win, and then they're so much more confident. Like Isaiah Pacheco as a Bronco this year, maybe he doesn't even see the field, just randomly.
It wouldn't look good at least.
Exactly.
Probably.
So it's just when they lost the Super Bowl to the Buccaneers, what do? They now have an all-pro center, an all-pro guard, a good tackle, multiple good tackles. So they fixed the things that they needed to fix, but if they lose this one, it's just that constant recycle of, and I can't wait for it, to be honest. I would love it to hear it again, but just like what can they do to make themselves better?
It's also kind of that. Seems like all great offensive teams have this haunt them if you're not winning consistently. It's like, you can put up points, but when push comes to shove, you can't get it done with you're not the best of the best.
Yeah,
Right.
see Broncos with Peyton Manning
yeah.
until 2015. You know, that's exactly what they were.
Yeah, that's and man, just like that's one thing I get really excited about Sean Payton is I know now guys like Isaiah Pacheco will start to pop.
Yeah, and
Hopefully.
just the idea of like you got they're all grown men. I'm sitting here, 29 years old on a couch talking about who is a grown man, but you got a grown man running the organization now, running the practices. Like it's not this. Yeah. I've been hearing it called Club Med, which is pretty fucking hilarious. Yeah. Training camps, stuff like that. Like this guy's gonna come in and grind. Like these dudes are gonna immediately have to go. They're not. There's not gonna be time for like, oh yeah. Let's play some Sierra at training camp. Not saying that affects performance, but it's going to be a very different feel from the jump with him.
Yeah, I was saving it for the draft pod, but I'll use it here. This analogy that someone tweeted at me when the Broncos hired Sean Payton, it's like getting Lewis Hamilton to drive your F1 car as opposed to last year when you had a soccer mom driving it. That's exactly what it is.
A soccer mom. If
Is it an
didn't
F1
mean-
car would be my question.
If it didn't mean the soccer mom,
It's a performance car.
Okay.
right? It might be a Haas.
Yes.
Yeah. I would if it didn't endanger said soccer mom's life, I would pay to watch a soccer mom try to drive.
We
an
watched
F1.
it
Some would
last
pay
year when
more.
Nathaniel Hackett was driving the car. It didn't look good.
Rewatch the 2022 Broncos, you say. Speaking of the Super Bowl, right now, final opportunity to unleash on the big game at DraftKings Sportsbook, where right now new customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly with a wager on the Super Bowl. That's on top of all the stepped up same game parlays, all the outstanding boosts up to 100% boosties you're getting at DraftKings Sportsbook right now. It's the place to be for the big game. Ryan, my host on bets, is doing the right thing and putting a ton of money on the Chiefs because this is what happened against the Buccaneers, and you sway the odds that way, you know, a little emotional hedge, and it's going to work out for us just like it did last time. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use that code DMVR, and new customers can bet $5 on Super Bowl 57 and get $200 in free bets instantly, only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code DMVR. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void in Ohio. See show notes for details. And man, it's been nice. Weather's finally pretty dope. This is what we signed up for when we moved to Denver. The sun is out, and it's a great time to be rocking your Shady Rays sunglasses. They are outstanding. Superb quality glasses. The lenses are great. The price is amazing for this quality glasses. And right now, using code DMVR, you get an exclusive offer as our listener. You can go and to shadyrays.com, use that code DMVR and get a buy one, get one free deal on some Shady Rays shades. Their customer support's outstanding. They'll hook you, they'll fix you up if you've got any issues or damages on your glasses. You can find them at the Park Meadows Mall if you're a big in-person person. And yeah, their deals when you sign up online are incredible. I got like 4 designer level shades for like less than $100. It was absolutely outstanding. Check them out at shadyrays.com and use that code DNVR. Okay. Super Bowl. Obviously, Super Bowl brings up a lot of thoughts. Broncos history. We've been through some dark times. And more recently, we've been through some better times. 8 Super Bowl appearances for the Broncos. Of course, it all starts in 77. You have the 4 with Elway and Dan Reeves in the 80s. That didn't quite work out with some, epic AFC championships. But then the Super Bowls themselves were kind of duds. And then Elway and the Broncos with Mike Shanahan finally break through, 97, 98. Then we have the longest gap of no Super Bowls from 77 to date, from 98 to 2013, Super Bowl 48, which was like a real fever dream.
I cried. That was one of the
Did
last
you?
time. Oh, it was bad. Yeah, I went home. I watched the first half at the bar I was at. Went home, cried, turned the game on, thought we could win it in the second half with some amazing comeback. Percy Harvin houses it, go back to crying.
Oh, man.
That was my night.
It was one of the biggest games I've been the least invested in emotionally because it just felt over before it started.
I was crushed.
To me, it was almost like waking up the day after, or like traveling internationally and landing and being like, what happened in the game, and checking the score and being like, oh, shit, they lost.
I'm jealous of you then.
It was just, what am I even doing? That was such a weird game.
It's kind of crazy going back and looking at Russell Wilson's numbers from that postseason run, because you always think like they're going to be saying like 300-yard games or something like that. First game, they beat the Saints 23-15, 1-score game. He's 9 of 18, 103 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, 3 carries for 16 yards.
That's crazy.
Second game,
What a game.
they play San Francisco. Again, beat them 23-17. He's 16 of 25, 215, a touchdown, 5 carries, 0 yards. And then obviously Super Bowl 206. They didn't really need him to do much. throws a couple touchdowns, runs for 26 yards. But I don't know. Like, those are not impressive numbers, averaging like 190 passing on 60% completions. He just didn't turn the ball over.
Yeah, and I mean, what's Marshawn Lynch doing for that offense?
Yeah.
He ran
Exactly.
for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns against New Orleans and 109 and 1 touchdown against San Fran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't have to do anything.
Well, is
against
that
Denver.
New Orleans? Was that the Beastquake game?
No.
This would be another. That was the 9 and
That
7 Seahawks.
that game was really weird.
Yeah.
It was a really weird wild card
Yeah,
game.
the Seahawks would have been the 1 seed, right? Like they were. That was a huge game.
Yeah.
And then, of course, more recently, 2015, Super Bowl 50 with Von Miller's incredible performance, beating the 15-1 Panthers. So yeah, especially recent Super Bowl history is pretty epic, pretty nuts. Any like memories, anything that stands out from all those games? I know you guys are all way too young for 97, 98.
Those games are why I'm a Broncos fan.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was like 4 years old watching them with the Elway jersey, and they won, and I was like, this is my team.
I love that.
Wow.
Yeah, I kind of grew up on winning. And then even they had some great teams in like 03, 04, 05. I went to the AFC Championship game in 05 when they lost to Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers.
Yep. After beating Brady on to get there, right?
Yeah, exactly. The 2015 Super Bowl, that was unbelievable. Like mentally, it's kind of not watered down. I should say, like, I don't physically, mentally care as much about the Avalanche as I do the Broncos. So like them winning it, I was obviously very happy. But I honestly don't know in my life if I've recreated a day where I was as happy as that 2015 Super Bowl.
You've since been married.
Second best day.
Nice save.
Second
that's
best
our
day.
guy.
Well, that like
That's our guy.
yeah, that day is just so stressful, and there's so much money. Yeah, I didn't pay $40,000 for the Broncos to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
You know,
Right, it's true.
I actually won a massive future on it too. So that was
wow.
like it was like
Beautiful.
a double. Like it was like you could just like I could have just fell in the street and been good.
Yeah.
I could not have been more confident going into that game. I knew they were going to win that game.
Yeah.
Just that defense, they gave that feeling all year that they were going to come through, and they always did. And literally after the strip sack from Vaughn to recover the touchdown,
Yeah,
like the first quarter, it was like, yeah, this is happening again.
That was huge. That game was kind of close too. Like it maybe didn't feel like it in stretches,
Yeah.
but it was close.
I mean, it was
score
close in the
was.
way that all of the Broncos games in that kind of stretch was, that second half of the season in the playoffs, where it's like, yeah, they're only up by like 7.
Yeah.
But you know they're not giving up any points. Like you were never worried.
So suffocating that defense
Exactly.
was.
Like
That's-
a 7-point lead. Like you might as well double any lead they had just because it's impossible to score on them.
That's where the AFC Championship 2 weeks prior was really stressful.
For sure.
They dominate Brady. They hit him like 20 times. That's my favorite game.
Yeah.
That is my favorite NFL game ever.
And
played.
and then he still got a throw to tie the game.
Yes.
Like you did
Yes.
everything humanely possible to dominate that game, and there was still a throw that could have tied it.
It felt like they couldn't get forward yardage for the entire game, and then they're still like within inches.
Yeah.
And just in general, Super Bowl memories, Broncos related or otherwise, last time the Eagles were in it really sticks out to me because it's one of those where Brady gets the ball at the end and you're like, oh shit. And then it didn't happen. And you wonder, I would love to see Mahomes in that same situation. Oh God, he's got the
Brady
ball.
still
at the
threw
end.
for like
He's gonna
450 yards in that game.
yeah,
though.
no, he had a good game. He had a good game. I mean, when he has the ball at the end, you assume the Pats
Yeah,
are going to drive
right.
down and win.
Yeah, it's like clock. Even this
Yes.
year when they were horrible, they had 3 games where they were ahead like 15-3 with 7 minutes left. Score, stop, score, game over. And I think it happened, no joke, 3 or 4 times this year. And you're like, dude, this guy, this
No,
cockroach,
he's great
he does not
Yeah.
do like.
That's what he's done his whole career. And I mean, in fairness, we've seen a lot of Super Bowl duds when Tom Brady's been involved, not so much. They're usually pretty good games.
Yeah.
You've had some real nail biters.
I honestly have like almost no memory of any Super Bowl since the Broncos won one, because typically that's just a big drinking day.
Super Bowl 50?
Yeah. Because typically, I mean, like last year we have the tailgate in the morning. There was no way I was gonna remember that Super Bowl. That's just kind of how it goes for Super Bowls.
You don't remember
is you wind
the-
up drinking all day and like hanging out. And it's like, yeah, I don't really.
You don't remember Seahawks Pats, the Malcolm Butler game?
I remember the clip. I don't like remember where I was for it.
Oh my gosh.
Was
was-
the Rams?
That's a great one.
That was
That's
an amazing
great
game.
one.
The Rams
Amazing game.
Patriots Super Bowl is maybe the worst Super Bowl.
That was really bad.
since we've been alive.
Yeah.
But it does
The
come
second
down
Rams
to a
Patriots.
kick at the
I mean, 48. Yeah.
No, the second one. Yeah,
oh.
yeah.
Not Kurt
Like
Warner,
13
Tom
to
Brady.
Yeah,
3 or
Jared
whatever
Goff.
it was.
Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Yeah. that
Brandon
was a
Cook
sick
standing under the crossbar. Yeah.
Oof. Steelers Cards was an amazing.
That was a great game too.
San Antonio.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was incredible.
tap.
Some of the greatest catches of all time at the end of
Yeah.
that one.
Yep.
Didn't Hines Ward throw a touchdown pass in
No,
that Super
that was
Bowl?
the Seattle
Sounds right.
game.
Oh.
See, I'm
the one that
jumbling
was
them.
famously rigged.
The rigged one, yes.
And
Yeah,
the
hey.
entire NFL is rigged.
Is that one rigged?
Nothing is rigged
That-
in the NFL.
You're telling me
Nothing is
Steelers
rigged.
Seahawks wasn't rigged?
I don't know what happened in that game, and I am telling you it was not rigged.
Oh, okay.
Nothing is rigged.
For those who don't know, that game was rigged by the NFL refs so the Steelers would win. So
For those
just
who
clearing it
don't
up
know.
for Henry who doesn't.
Yep.
Not rigged.
It was the Bus's last game. They had to rig it for him to win.
They did.
Oh.
Yeah, Jerome.
Nobody's rigging something for
Don't-
Jerome Bettis.
Don't make me say.
If it was
fucking
Barry
Jerome
Sanders, maybe.
Bettis on
People
this podcast.
love Jerome Bettis back
They
then.
do. The
Yeah.
bus, bro.
But I mean, like in terms of like championship running backs, he's nothing special. Like he's Marshawn Lynch at best.
Preach, bro. He sucks. Yeah.
Okay,
the bus
no, I'm not
sucks.
preaching that.
We know that. And the
doesn't
NFL
suck.
is rigged. It's nice to hear Henry come to his
Nothing is
matter of
rigged.
facts.
Nothing is rigged.
Boys,
In the NFL.
either team to kick a game-winning walk-off field goal at the end of normal time plus 750. We just
Oh.
talked about some epic Super Bowl endings. Could it be, Henry?
Not at plus 750. I was thinking it was gonna be like
Oh,
20-1.
You need more use. Plus
I
2,000.
I do. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is one where nothing would surprise me. Like if
So you like that bet?
no,
Oh.
no, that would be like if I think it's gonna be really close. But like if the Chiefs blow them out, I'll be like, yeah, of course. If the Eagles blow them out, you're like, yeah, look, they have that offense. If it's a close game, sure, that makes sense too. But I'm not willing to say like it's coming down to a final field goal unless you're getting 20-1.
Okay. What will happen first? Any turnover or rushing touchdown?
Oh, rushing touchdown.
Easily.
Rushing
Yeah?
touchdown for
Easily.
sure. Yeah.
Plus minus 105. The juice is good.
Yeah.
I thought it's a shoe-in, but I assumed the juice would be like plus 150 to minus 250, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm surprised there's even odds
Mahomes
on
doesn't
that.
turn it over a ton anyways, and then
Yeah.
I think Jalen, they're going to be very careful with him, especially the first quarter and a half.
Yep.
That's the quarterback health so huge on either side of this.
Yep.
Because Jalen's admitted he hasn't felt great. Obviously, we know Mahomes isn't 100%, though definitely not a high ankle sprain.
I mean, by then it won't be.
Maybe a regular ankle sprain.
But I mean, he should be pretty close to fine by
By
the time
last
they play
Sunday, it
again.
wasn't a high ankle sprain.
I mean, he obviously was not himself that game.
Sure, but also not a high ankle sprain.
You
There's
tape it
a-
up though.
There's a difference between I've got a little boo-boo and a high ankle sprain. He
Okay,
had
I'm
a
not
little
guessing at
boo-boo.
the injury. If they say high ankle sprain,
You're not
I
a
saw enough
doctor?
to say.
Henry really gets me going. I hate that about
Yeah.
myself.
I like that you hate that about you and not me.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's a me thing. It's not a you thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. Any defensive player to have 1+ solo sack and an interception.
Oh.
Which
So
does
who would
Vaughn
that
do that
be?
in
They aren't
Super Bowl? No,
dropping
he doesn't in
Hassan
Super
Reddick.
Bowl 50. Does he in the AFC Championship?
Willie
It was in the
Gay?
AFC Championship.
God, what a stud. It'd be a
They
lot.
blitz a lot of safeties.
It'd be
I
a
don't-
lot.
Yeah.
Look, Lil Petty bring NFL loved boss.
I told you.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking the truth. Sean, man.
People loved him.
Oh yeah, I know, but I'm just saying he's not Barry Sanders.
Hassan Reddick or a DB could get you a sack and an INT.
If
He
the
could.
fucking Chiefs decide to block Hassan Reddick with Blake Bell, like the 49ers did, they deserve that.
Yeah.
God, I'm still like upset about that.
It's a shame we
That
didn't get
was
to
a
see that.
shit show.
That literally
game that was
that
supposed
play
to be.
ruined the game.
That was a rough
That
game.
play in more ways than one ruined the entire game
Yep.
because they decided to have a backup tight end try to block Hassan Reddick.
Blake Bell, former quarterback.
It's true.
Even worse.
That's true. Oklahoma Sooner, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, aside from novelty picks, you guys got some game picks? for me?
Aside from novelty picks?
Yeah,
You
well,
have to bet on the national anthem. Obviously.
I know. I haven't studied the length of national anthems and stuff yet.
Are you a national anthem expert?
No, I just always take the over.
Nice. I love that too.
Who's even singing it?
all
Do we know?
Rihanna's performing, but
Chris
she wouldn't be doing
Stapleton
these.
and people were so pissed.
you-
Babyface? Is that person?
Lil Baby?
No.
Little baby.
Little
Babyface.
Is it Babyface?
I don't think Babyface is a thing. While we figure that out, let me tell you, if you want to hear the national anthem sang live at a sporting event, boy, do we have a deal for you. Thanks to the good folks at Breckenridge Brewery right now, we are giving out an all-time giveaway for Nuggets on Thursday, March 30th. Go watch the Nugs play the Pellies on courtside row 2. Insane deal. Get in on that QR code. All we need is a few questions answered about yourself. Tell us about you. And you will also get club access, a parking pass, and some sweet DMVR gear. You want to do that for the Avs. That game is March 9th against the LA Kings. 2 tickets in section 102, row 5. And as well, parking pass, club access, and some DMVR gear. Check it out. It's one of the coolest things we have ever given out. 1,000 entrants so far. Sounds like a lot. It's actually not even that crazy. Throw your name in there and let's see what we can do. And then also a shout out to our good friends at Illegal Pete's.
Yes.
We're always getting lunch just down the street at Pete's. They're real homies. Their stuff is absolutely delicious. You want to go healthy, you want to indulge on some chips and queso, they've got you covered across the entire spectrum. Producer Kale was telling me how well they treated him on some delish drinks when he was there last. They've got you covered any which way you want to do it. Check out Illegal Pete's. Stop by one of their 12 locations in Colorado and Arizona for happy hour, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. every day, serving irresistible drinks and mouth-watering food that will fill all your heart's desires, I think is what that's supposed to say. So that's what I'm going to say. Boom. All right, fellas. Again, Spence, you're going to be in Arizona this upcoming, in a mere matter of a few days.
Yep.
So just give us a taste for what's in store, at least on your side of things.
This is probably my favorite week of the year.
I should hope so.
Wasted management.
Beautiful.
We will be behind the ropes at 16 Wednesday. They do a really cool thing on Wednesday of the tournament. So it's the Pro-Am. You can see guys like Ray Romano.
I was just wondering what he was up to.
No, just like guys that I watched.
Aaron Rodgers was there last year.
Aaron Rodgers was there last year.
But Ray Romano for sure.
Matt from The Bachelor. A lot of people got really into
Everybody.
I know exactly
Everybody's
who that
there.
is.
Matt from The Bachelor, Ray Romano.
Yeah. This has gone downhill quickly. I'm just trying
What
to
about
think,
Justin Bieber?
Rob Riggle.
Rob Riggle.
Rob Riggle's a good one.
Similar. Dave Chappelle. He can be there.
I don't think he golfs. He doesn't strike
What
me.
about Coach Prime?
Whose line is it anyway?
Coach Prime probably won't be there. He
ain't hard to find.
You'll be
though, if you'd
surprised.
like to.
Yeah, he might be there.
He might be.
But what they do is they actually have like a freestyle rapper on the tee box, and he goes for hours straight just introducing each celebrity, but it's just in a rap the entire time.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
And he just keeps going, and he throws a bunch of digs at him, which is great. And then they hit the shot onto the big stadium hole, so it's fun. And I think if they make a hole in one, they get like $50,000 or charity does or something like that. So that's what Wednesday. Yeah, a lot of those people probably need the
Off
cash.
screen, we're being told Ray Romano probably needs the cash. So, which hey, could very well be.
But it's a great day overall, and then just the tournament's a blast. It's by far. If you don't love golf, but you want to go to a golf tournament, it is the one to go to.
I wonder
because
what
it's
that Venn diagram's like. Like, don't love golf, want to go to a golf tournament.
Well, I mean, we all go to Rockies games to sit outside in the hot sun.
true.
And
Great
drink
point.
beer and
That
get
is
hammered.
true.
It's the exact same scenario here.
That is true.
Great
You
day
sit
at
in the
the park.
grandstands. It's green. There's a crowd. There's a lot of alcohol flying everywhere. It's a good. It's a good time. You don't have to be quiet. It's great. Last year, someone told Mitchell to dump his tits out, so that was fun.
Nice.
Wow,
Nice.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Like, I love being inside the ropes because you just get to walk on like the cart path and all the peasants are around, and you're just there.
It's a beautiful thing.
And they just yell things at you, and there's just no rules. It's great.
I love that so much. What's going to be the best way to follow along on all that great content?
Big Drive Energy on Twitter, and Big Drive Energy as well on TikTok. Big Drive Energy Pod
follow.
on Instagram. So we'll be going live. We'll be doing live shows, live content. We've got a few ideas for other content with random people.
I cannot wait.
It's a great week. It's my favorite week
Cannot wait.
by far.
And Henry, you are also wandering over to the desert. You're going to be radio
Flying.
rowing it up.
Yeah, we'll be
Big
live
time,
from
as
Radio
some
Row.
would say.
Yeah, some would. All next week will be a Radio Row for the Super Bowl. So listen to the Broncos podcast there. It'll be at 1 o'clock Mountain, which is different because
Dang.
usually it's noon. So be ready
It
for that.
is. Mountain as well, noon.
No. 1 o'clock Mountain.
No, I know. Typically it's at
Oh,
noon
yeah,
Mountain
yes,
time.
you typically noon
Now
Mountain.
it's being
Yep.
moved to 1 Mountain time.
Yeah, 3 Eastern.
Because if you were like, it's the show's always noon Mountain time. Now it's being moved to 1 Pacific time. That'd actually be the same time.
No.
Okay, well,
No.
forget what I said, but the point stands, I think.
Yeah, 1 o'clock next week.
Jake, do you have any plans for next week?
DMVR Bus Prime Time, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m.
Come
Wow.
on. Don't want to miss it.
Never would for the
Best
world.
show on the whole network.
Of course.
Don't tell these guys I said that. Okay?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Jake's hoping to get some great guests while RK's out of town.
Wow.
Yeah. Some who might be familiar to this show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, is it you?
It's true.
Can neither confirm nor deny.
Wildest game predictions? Wildest game, you get 1. I'm going 50-plus yard touchdown. There you go.
Oh. Travis Kelce, 2 touchdowns.
Hell yeah.
Plus
Great
500.
one. That's a great one.
Yeah.
Great one. Henry.
I'm going to go Devontae Smith over 100 yards and a touchdown.
Beautiful.
A team wins this game by 24 plus points.
Ooh.
Blowout.
Don't know who it is, but I just have a feeling
I do
they
worry
can
it's
go.
not a close one. Yeah.
Yeah, it can go either way and just be an absolute downhill scenario for one team. Hopefully, Kansas City.
Wildest prediction for next week, Spence?
Oh, wow.
My shirt is off more than it's on.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Love that. On your end?
My
You guys get
pants are off more than they're on?
on Radio Row?
You can probably.
I mean, if he's sitting
Hey, if
behind
you
the
got a
booth
good
the whole
tablecloth,
time.
yeah,
Exactly.
that's
Yeah. That'd
It's
be a fun
true.
game. You get a guest. It's like, first question, am I wearing pants?
Holy cow.
You better ask that
You
next
got like
week
Ian
now.
Rappaport. You're like, hey,
Why
am I
aren't we
wearing pants?
doing that? Like guests on a show where we've got a table over and the first question is, am I wearing pants?
Wow.
You can start a trend, Henry.
Could.
Isn't that journalism 101?
Start a trend.
No. Interview someone while your lower body's under a table and ask, am I wearing pants?
Oh, yeah, that. Yep. Definitely, Dre.
While we're on wildest prediction for the Broncos offseason.
They trade somebody making more than $10 million a year.
I know. When Spence was talking about leaders on the team, I was like, yeah, trading Justin Simmons, that would be the case against it.
I mean, but the thing is, if they might need some turnover of leadership. Like, I think some new blood, new captains wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing.
Wow. You guys got some crazy Broncos offseason predictions?
Go
The
ahead.
leader in rushing and receiving yards is currently not on the Broncos.
Ooh, is it the same person?
Could be, but
Wow.
But yeah, let's just go all-purpose yards leader
Okay.
for next year. Next season is currently not a Bronco.
That's a good one.
I'm going to say the Broncos break the bank for a guard or a center.
Wow.
Nice.
Is that even possible?
That's what
What did
Sean Payton
what
does.
did Joe Tooney get last year?
17?
Jesus.
That's a lot of money.
It
It's
is.
a lot of Dalton Reisners.
That's a lot of Dalton Reisners. Mine's semi-related. 3 new starters at minimum on the O-line.
Wow. At minimum. Oh, they can move bowls.
3 or more, I say.
Yeah.
3 or more. Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
GB maybe. Where also, driving to work, see a guy walking his dog 2 days ago wearing a Garrett Bulls jersey, looking at him so hard. You know, geese are crossing the road constantly these days. Almost ran over a geese.
Oh. Was it
'Cause
Garrett?
The Garrett Bulls guy had me distracted.
Was it really him?
No.
Sounds
like
This
Garrett's
was
problem.
not Garrett.
I do own one of those.
A Garrett Bulls jersey. I know. You're
There was
a
a
crazy
moment.
guy, man.
You guys are
You're
sick.
A crazy guy.
There was a moment. Wow. I just gave out the Travis Kelce 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Immediately went from plus 500 to plus 475.
They're listening.
We are
man.
moving lines out here.
They're
What do
listening.
you guys think about jersey number first touchdown scorer?
I've
okay.
been all over this
Oh
for
my
2
goodness.
days.
Okay, so you know it. Do you know it? Do you know
It's
the
like
number?
11 it.
Yeah, I mean, I was
I've
gonna say
ruined
if
it.
you-
Yeah.
like, okay, you've got McKinnon's 1.
Good one. Pacheco's 10.
Pacheco's 10.
Hertz is 1.
Hurts
Hurts
is
is
one.
one.
Brown,
Both
AJ
11s,
Brown.
Devontae
Yep.
Smith and Valdez Scantling
That's
are
AJ Brown.
threats to yes, thank you.
Smith is
AJ
also
Brown
6.
and Smith.
So it basically
So
can't be
under
Kelsey.
seems really juicy.
Yeah, it can't be Kelsey or
Mahomes.
any Mahomes
Goddard.
or either of the
Goddard.
tight ends from the Eagles.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to be Kelsey, though. Like, I think it's Kelsey. And honestly, my second choice would be
Miles
Mahomes,
Sanders too.
who's also an over.
Well, and Goddard's.
Yeah.
Scary
But
one.
again, like, he's down there a bit on my list. But it's
Sure,
possible, yeah.
but like in the red zone, he's definitely a target.
Yep.
Miles Sanders.
Because
Kenneth
I was
Gainwell.
all over the under, and then Hank started talking crazy about Travis Kelce, and I've had a hard time sticking to it.
Nobody guards him. Like, it's just
It's
It's
insane.
impossible.
It's almost like people don't try. It's almost like they don't get into game planning and say 8 and write 87 and circle it.
Yeah.
The one guy that actually can dominate you.
Yep.
Yeah. My SGP for that game is actually a Kelce touchdown and a Jalen Hurts touchdown.
That's probably on like some sort of crazy hot streak in every game they've played, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like the Broncos, I'm being asked for a quick turnover, change of blood on this here show. So we are going to do that. Have a great weekend, everyone. Stay tuned for DMVR Buffs Primetime. That's what we're calling
Yes,
it these
sir.
days. Check out all the great stuff Spence and Hank will be doing next week down in Phoenix. Thanks for tuning in. Go Broncos, baby. Have a great weekend. We out.